Hi, I'm Emily and welcome to the Knitventure podcast. This is a knitting podcast all about any finished objects, any current whips, any future knitting plans, or yarn acquisitions or knitting acquisitions. So I'm Emily and I live in just outside of Inverness in the Scottish Highlands. I love knitting and all things outdoors. It's been 3 weeks, I think, since my last podcast. We've been away on holiday to Croatia sailing, and I'll put a couple of pictures up at the end of the video. So I'll start with what I've finished. This is my only finished object, and this was my holiday knitting project. This is my Tolsta Tee by the Gigha in Ripple Crafts Kylesku 4-ply in the colour The Skin of a Perfect Avocado, I think. So this is a basic top-down raglan t-shirt with a ribbed neckband, arms and hem. And the avocado colour, you can see it's kind of got these greens, light greens and dark greens. So this was super fun to knit up because as I was going along, sort of a different green colour would pop up every now and again. So you got the dark ones and the light ones. This is, I think, 1.5 balls of yarn. And I don't think you can tell, but this top one is a little bit more sort of flecked than the bottom one, which is the second ball of yarn. But like the colour overall blends very well. So I think unless you're really, really looking for it, I don't think you can tell that it's too different. Well, they don't have, I don't know if it was the same dye lot. There's no dye lot on the two skeins that I had. So they might have been the same, dyed in the same batch. They might not have been, but I don't think you can tell at all that one's a different hank. So but yeah, when I first started it, there was I think there just so happened to be like a dark line, and then I started using the next ball and there was no darker lines popping up. So I thought, oh no, am I gonna have like a totally really obvious change? But actually I think it all blends fine. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think the colour is so nice and it's really, really nice and soft. And I think it's grown a bit since I washed and blocked it. I maybe stretched the neckline a little bit when I pinned it out. But overall, I think it's a pretty good size. Yes, it's a little bit wide on the neck, but yeah, I think it's really nice and I'm looking forward to wearing this as the Scottish summer progresses. And yeah, it's really nice and soft. I knit this on 3.75mm needles and then 3.5 I think for the ribbing. The Gigha or Rebecca, I think she's a very loose knitter, so I often have to do quite a different needle size to get gauge. And these balls of yarn, they were my first ever hand-dyed yarn purchase. And when I was having a look on Ravelry to see what other people had used the Ripples yarn for, quite a few people have done a Tolsta Tee. So I decided, yeah, this is probably a great way to use up this yarn. It will showcase the beautiful colour changes, and they'd used 3.75, so that's what I did my little gauge swatch in. So I knit mine's a size 2. I think, yeah, because it maybe has grown a bit, or it might have been because of my blocking and pinning out and accidentally stretching it out a bit. Size 1 would have been a bit better. I think my armhole's sitting a bit funny because I've pinned it straight along there, but that should relax in a bit. after a bit of wear. Yeah, so this ended up being the only project I took with me on holiday. And I didn't get a lot of knitting time. Knitting when the boat's moving up and down is definitely challenging. So I kind of just knit in the evenings, or maybe a little bit at lunchtime when we'd stopped. But most of the time we were just sailing and jumping off the boat, and so there wasn't a whole lot of knitting time really. But the plane journey out there, I think I did most of the raglan. Don't think I joined in the round, and then whilst I was out there I joined in the round and I think started on the body, and then when I got home I just needed to finish the body, the arms, and the arms didn't take too long. I think I knit 6 rounds when I picked up, and then 8 rounds for the ribbing. And I knit mine to, suggested to 30 centimeters, but for me I knit mine to until 27 centimeters. But it's probably grown to 30, if not more than 30 by now. So yeah, great travel project. I think a 4-ply project is a really good travel project because it takes a while to knit up because the yarn is so fine. And when you're traveling, I think it's nice to change your project. Nice to change your projects around when you're knitting so that your brain doesn't kind of get bored of one. But I think that it just kind of, with a 4-ply, you just kind of focus and get a good chunk of it done. Whereas I think when you're at home and you're knitting, sometimes it feels like, oh, it's taking so long that you maybe just like putting it down and picking up a quicker, more satisfying project. So when it was like focus time on the plane there, on the plane back, a little bit whilst we were there, it grew a lot more quickly than I think it would have done when I was at home. But yeah, this is my Tolsta Tee by the Craybear in Ripples Crafts Kylesku 4-ply. Okay, so on to whips. So my first whip is the Moby Slipover by PetiteKnit, and this is a slipover, tank top, whatever you want to call it. That's a cabled tank top with cables and then mock cables in the middle. And I am knitting mine in pure Gynt. It's light grey autumn tweed. So it's this light grey with flecks of yellow, purple. I think it's just yellows and purples. When I looked at this online, I think I thought it was maybe browns and yellows, or yeah. So when it arrived, I was a little bit surprised that there was purple flecks in there, but yeah, it's really nice in person. And I probably wouldn't have ordered it online when I was looking at it. I'm sure that it probably did have purple bits and I was just not seeing it, but yeah, I really like it in person, and I've said it before, I really, really love Tweedy yarns. So this is yet another Tweedy yarn project. So this is on 3.5, and I have done the back and picked up and knit along the front. I don't know if I've progressed loads since the last time I showed this, but I've been away and I didn't take this with me, and I picked this up a day or two ago. And when I do pick it up, it does go quite quickly. I think because you kind of memorize what it is that you need to do, but I'm still working my way or following the chart just so that I remember when I need to do the cables, and for the mock cable bit as well. So this is like an 8 cable, so you're putting 4 in front or 4 behind. If you've not done cables before, it's really easy. I think it looks a lot more scary than it is, but it's really simple. You just put 4 stitches behind or 4 stitches in front. and these ones here are just mock cables, so you're knitting into like the second stitch and then knitting into 2 stitches. Hard to describe, but it's a mock cable, and then you've kind of got these garter sort of panels, and when this washes it will, I'll do it this way, it will relax and grow, and you'll see more of the sort of definition in between, like the pearls in between, whereas at the moment it's shrinking in together a bit. So I've got a couple more rows until I'm joining in the round. This is knitting up quite quickly, so I don't think it'll take me too long before I'm joined in the round. And I'm knitting a size extra small. I think my recommended size is a small, but looking at the pattern pictures with PetiteKnit, there's quite a bit of a not a massive gap, or positives, and I wanted it a little bit tighter, so a bit less ease. So I'm going for extra small. Everything I've done up to now is exactly the same size as a small, apart from I would just need to add a couple of extra rows on the back and then more on the front. So if I join it in the round and I start doing a little bit and then try it on and it feels like it's going to be way too small, I can undo that bit and just add a couple of rows on the back and a couple of rows on the front, and then so I don't have to undo the whole thing. I can get so far and go back and adjust it if it's too small, but it should be fine. It's just going to be a little bit less ease. So I can't remember how much it would give me knitting size extra small, but I think it'll be absolutely fine. I think she's got PetiteKnit patterns are great because they have lots of really helpful videos, and she's got a video for picking up the for the left and right shoulder, which makes it quite seamless, I think. So along there, like you can kind of see a little ridge, I think, but maybe a bit less on that one. I think it's just like there, but it blends in quite easily. It's not, you don't just pick up stitches, you do something a little bit in one below or something like that. I can't remember with these ones here, just so it's quite smooth and joins. Yeah, so it's a bit more a smooth transition. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this being finished. I think it's going to be worn a lot, and I'm already picturing wearing it with jeans or a skirt. So yeah, and I'm now tempted to make the jumper version, or I should probably do just another cabled jumper or something. I think the cables are really, really good fun, and because you've got to knit however many rows before you then do take stitches forwards and backwards for the cable part, it's quite addictive because you're just like, oh, just a couple more rows until I get to the point where I need to do my cable, or just a couple more rows. So it is addictive, I think. Hard to put down. But yeah, I think since I've been back, I haven't picked it up so much because I was trying to just finish this one off. So yeah, this will probably be hopefully finished by the next time because it is flying along. I've got 4 skeins of yarn for this, and this is what I've got left in my second, so 2 more to go. So yeah, really enjoying that one, and I would thoroughly recommend trying some cables. Okay, second whip, which ever since I've started this podcast, I have talked about the vanilla socks every single episode, I think. But I won't talk too much about this one because I've talked about the yarn and this pattern But this is where I'm at with my mustard pair of socks. So it's the vanilla socks by Crazy Sock Lady Designs, and I am knitting mine in Drops Fabel in the coloured mustard. And I got into sock knitting because I really wanted a mustard pair of socks, and I made a grey pair of socks first just to see what it was like making a pair of socks, and I thought if I make any mistakes then I'll make it in that version and then I'll do my mustard pair. And the pattern is really, really good. She's got a video of every single step, so it's very easy to get a good looking sock, and everything's broken down. There's no guesswork of, is this what she means, or trying to find YouTube videos on whatever it is that the technique that you need to use. She's got it all in one video. I'm doing the magic loop method. These, I've said it in previous podcasts, these are my first Kylesku needles, and I would thoroughly recommend these for if you're doing something with magic loop or socks, because the cord is very flexible and it doesn't kink and hold the shape. It just relaxes back to I don't know, the circle. It doesn't hold funny shapes like other needles do. So this is kind of like a car travel project, or if just taking it with me to places, so that there's not much apart from the heel flap and gusset. You just need to knit in the round, so there's not much that you really need to think about, and before you know it you've kind of knit quite a good section of it. So it's good for if you're sitting and chatting to people, or I've got a bit more to go on the foot. I am knitting size small. Did I say this is 2.25? I think I did. Needles. And my last pair, I think the leg was a little bit too long. It's completely fine, but I just wanted a shorter leg. So I've done 55 rows, I think, instead of 60 maybe, before I started the heel flap and gusset. No measuring or rhyme or reason to that. I just think I got to 55 and decided, yeah, that's probably enough, and just started the heel flap and gusset. So these should be off the needles quite soon. Depends how much chat time or traveling time I have, whether they will be or not, but I probably should it won't take too long to just finish this off, so I should probably just finish this off and then get the next pair cast on. The other sock. So yeah, these are my vanilla socks in my mustard bag. This is one of the free merit bags that you get when you order probably over a certain amount from Merit Beauty, and I just thought this is a perfect little small project bag. Rather than a beauty bag, I've already got a beauty bag, and my mustard stock can go in my kind of mustard bag, so matching. Okay, last whip is my Gigha tank test knit for the Craybea. So I have got until I think the 22nd of July to finish this off, and this is a summer tank top. Gigha is an island off the west coast of Scotland, and I did Google it. You can go there. I think there's a ferry that goes there, and it is sort of like a square necked tank top with ribbing around the armhole along the top and the bottom, and then it will have a customizable panel. So in the two versions that she has, because there's a DK version and a 4-ply version, she has one version which has got crocheted side panel and another one with a ribbed side panel. So you knit the front piece and then you leave the stitches on hold. Ooh, don't want to lose on these stitches. This took me a while, this next bit. and then you knit the back bit, the back panel, which matches the front panel exactly, and then you tangle, it's a bit difficult to show, but you pick up stitches along the back, you cast on using the cable cast on, and then you pick up stitches all along the other side, so like that. And then I will do some ribbing, and then you do the side panel. I was thinking of doing lace for a side panel, but being quite busy and just need to kind of get this one finished because we've got, what was it, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? So I think I don't crochet, and I was thinking about trying crocheting some flowers for the side, but I think I'm just going to do the ribbing option, which will be really nice, but kind of a shame because someone else has picked the silk knitting for Olive. Mine is the Merino cotton in the same colour, so it'd be nice to show 2 different versions in this colour, but at the end of the day, this is I don't think I have time to practice all the crocheting by the time this needs to be finished, so ribbing it is. But yeah, someone else has done the silk version and I've done the Merino cotton held double. And this colour is, so it's knitting for Olive. Is it Merino cotton or cotton merino? Can't remember, but one of the two. This is the colour Elephant Blue. I'm holding it double. I wouldn't hold a cotton blend yarn double again unless I really wanted the finished item, because I've done it before and it tangles really badly. So you knit a bit and then you have to untangle these two a bit and then knit again. And I don't have that problem with just wool, but with yarn that's got cotton in it, it tangles a lot. So yeah, as I'm knitting this, I'm like kind of thinking, oh, I wish I was doing the 4-ply version so that this wasn't tangling so much. But it's really nice and soft, and it will be really nice when it's finished. And I think this is a nice colour, and it will look good on me, I hope, when it's finished. So yeah, like the main chunk of knitting is done. It's just all the extra, not fiddly bits, but the extra finishing touches, yeah, that just need to be done. I did go ahead and start picking up the sides and the arm and the strap on the 4mm needles, or that's what I use to get gauge, and then it's 3.25 for the ribbing. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I just went ahead and picked up all the stitches and cast on stitches, and then I thought, I've not gone down needle sizes, I've just done it with the ones that I was using, which was the 4mm ones. But it's fine, like I've picked everything up and I don't actually have big enough 3.25 needles, so I will just wait. I think they'll arrive tomorrow. This will be on hold until those arrive, and then I'll just, as I do the first round, I'll just knit it onto the smaller size needles. But yeah, this is going to be, it would have been nice if this was finished for my holiday, but it'd be really nice. I mean, we're still getting some pretty good weather here in Scotland. In Inverness today, I think it's 18 degrees. It's like t-shirt weather, so I'm pretty sure by the time I finish this, I'm saying this now, hopefully some of the nice warm weather is still here. But yeah, this is going to look really nice when it's finished, and it's fun being part of a test knit group. There's a Instagram chat, and it's great seeing other people's colours and ideas. Some people have done lace, some people have done the main body one colour and the ribbing a different colour. I think someone did stripes, or maybe just stripes on the panel. Trying to think, someone else has done like a crochet panel, so not the granny squares, which is what they suggested, or the whole idea is you can customize it, but not in the Grey Bears version. So I was looking at hers, and I think it is just like one big granny square. It doesn't look like it's in one colour. It looks really nice, so if I was to ever make another one, that would be probably what I would try. But yeah, it's fun seeing what other people have done ahead of time as well. And it's great being in a group chat, because if you get stuck with anything, you can ask, but I don't think there's been many problems for people. So it's more just, this is sharing where you're at, and putting love hearts on everyone's posts or pictures. So yeah, this should be finished the next time. Otherwise I'm getting, don't know my dates, but otherwise I'll probably be getting very close to the deadline. But yeah, next week this is probably going to have some dedicated knitting time. So that's all my whips. And the last thing is, I decided to have a go at creating my own pattern. I've done quite a bit of swatching and changing what I thought I was going to do or how it's going to look. And this is my swatch that I've ended up with. It's got these white diamonds running through the middle with the sort of flower, and then blue diamonds, and there is light grey and dark grey here in the swatch, and I've decided to go with the light grey. So this will be run in bands across the jumper, maybe 4 times, 5 times. I'll see what it's looking like as I get further down the jumper, but I've done all of the calculations for the top. It's a raglan, if I didn't say that, with a folded neck collar. I think I'm going to do another version with a rolled neck collar. I really like rolled neck collars as well, so I might do 2. I think I will do 2 versions, and I really like this colour combination of the grey, white, gold and blue. This is pure Gynt, which I've used before, and I really like this yarn. So yeah, that's what my swatch is looking like. And this is, so I've had to redo, I study maths at university, so I enjoyed the challenge of working out how the numbers would work. It kind of satisfies my brain, and I can get quite fixed on calculating and working it all out until I get it right, I suppose, until the numbers work. Because it's I think a six stitch repeat, just trying to make it line up so that it's right on the body. Yeah, has satisfied my brain. So you can't really see too much because I've only just started the colour work. It's a bit hard to see if I can get the front. Yeah, a bit hard to see because it's kind of, this bit's rolling up. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be pattern and then a block of grey, then pattern, then a block of grey. And it's got this double folded collar. And yeah, it's exciting, it's good fun. And yeah, I'm like writing up the pattern as I go along. And I feel like I've kind of gone through the number crunching part, and now it's just time to actually get to knit it. And yeah, I've learned a lot about construction and how it all works. Oh no, I don't want to lose my stitches. I do have some needle stoppers that I should probably put on this because it's almost getting a little bit too big. It's not quite big, not too big yet, but it's getting there when the stitches start sliding off the end. Yeah, it's really good fun. Colour work is addictive, especially when it's only 2 colours at once, and the floats are no longer than 5. 5's the longest amount of stitches, so you don't need to be picking up your float as you go along. You can do it. You could if you want, if you do it every 3, but 5 I didn't pick up the float. I just changed colour. So yeah, so you've got the blue and the grey at once, and then the white and the white and the blue at once, and then it's the white and the gold at once, and then so it's only 2 colours at a time, and then you get a rest section, I suppose, when you're just doing grey. Yeah, the like hardest, not the hardest part actually, but like just working out or picturing how it's going to look as it goes across the raglan has been, it's not challenging, it's just kind of deciding how it's going to look as the back and the sleeves, the divide between the two essentially, because there's going to be 2 rounds of pattern repeat before you then join in the round. But yeah, hopefully a bit more of this will be done by next time. So I think that is everything. We've now got a little guest cat. This is Goose. We've got 2 cats. This is our black boy, Goose, and we've got a black and white girl called Sabby. This chair isn't usually in here. It's been moved into here temporarily, and Goose likes to sit on the back of it, so he's now joined, haven't you? So yeah, I think that is everything knitting wise. As I said, I'll put a few pictures up now of our sailing holiday in Croatia. It was great fun. We were sailing from Split, so we went to, so I've been there before on a sailing holiday with my family, and this time it was my sister and brother and our other halves, so there was 8 of us on the boat, which was quite busy, but we all squished in and had a great time. So we went to Viz, I think it is, which is where they filmed some of Mamma Mia, and we had great weather. It got hotter as the week went on, and we had a lovely time. We just anchored at lunchtime, jumped in the water, and then we'd go and explore some of the little places, marinas, in the evening. And yeah, all of us wished we'd had another week. We all enjoyed it so much, and all of us and our other halves all want to go back. So maybe another sailing holiday pending next year, depending on if my parents want to take us all again. So yeah, I'll put some pictures up, and hopefully I'll be back well, I will be back at some point, but hopefully it will be in 2 weeks. So yeah, let me know what you've been knitting. I'd love to know. You can follow me on Instagram at Knitventure, and you can follow me on Ravelry. I think it's EWilsonBeales, I forget it every time. I'll put it below, and anything that I've talked about, because I always forget to say this and I put it up at the end, but I will put any information in the description box. I feel really low down in this chair, like it's not a good chair for sitting in for the machine, or there's a piano in front of me. Yeah, I feel like I'm sitting super low down compared to the normal one, but it's a comfy chair, comfy armchair. Facebook Marketplace purchase. So yeah, thank you for watching, and happy knitting. Bye!